entertaining and informative. The Live by Design Inspiration Radio, brought to you by lbsuccess.com. This is your weekly show that leaves you motivated and ready to take action so you can create the life and business of your dreams. Now, here's your host, Nancy Gathesha.
Welcome to Live by Design Inspiration Radio with your host Nancy Gadesha, and it's another great day to follow your dreams and to take your life to the next level. Now, what does it mean to follow your dreams? We've been talking about that on the past episodes, but today we have an amazing man who is doing exactly that, and I'm so thrilled and honored to have our special guest today, and I know you're going to enjoy this interview. So, Clifford, thank you so much for coming on the call.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very, very honored. It's going to be a good time, okay?
Oh, yes. Okay, Clifford, tell us a little bit about yourself for the listeners who may not know why I'm so excited to have you on the call.
All right. My name is Clifford Owusu. I'm a Ghanaian American. Since I was young, I just had this real passion just to make people happy, just to, see the brighter side in life. There's so much negativity in the world. I tell people all the time, the world is already dark and cold, so you don't have to add to it. Our mission as human beings is just to add color and excitement to the world, because the world is already serious. You have bills, you have school, you got work. That seriousness is already taken care of for you. So, I just say, what can I do to bring more happiness? So I started making videos. I love to dance, so I started using the concept of comedy and dance and put it together, and it's been working so far, and I'm happy. I'm happy when other people are happy. So,
and you do that really well. I'm one of the people who are really happy. Clifford, when I'm having one of these days where you're thinking, I go to your YouTube channel and you really always make my ribs just hot.
And that's beautiful. Thank you for that. That means a lot to me.
What inspired Well-Dressed Entertainment?
That part is very important. Okay, so growing up, I always went to private school, so all I knew was, dressing up in a suit and tie. A lot of people hated it, but I loved it because I realized, when you're out and you're dressed, people receive you better. They respect you more. When you speak, people listen. So I just took that into my comedy. Well-dressed entertainment means I'm dressed well. I don't curse. It's all clean. With my material and the way I speak. So it's working. Because of that, a lot of families can watch me with their kids, so I love it. And people are saying I'm inspiring the younger generation to also dress up. So, it's good when you dress up and people respect you. So that's really the inspiration behind that.
Okay. And how long have you been living in the States? You said you're from Ghana originally?
Yeah, I was born in Ghana, came here to the U.S. when I was 6. And I've been here ever since.
Well, the reason I'm asking that, Clifford, is that I'm Kenyan, and I've been living in Germany for, over 15 years now. It sounds like a long time. And one thing that a lot of us identify with your videos, that we're really having such a good laugh. For example, like why Africans take so long to pick up the phone, or whether it's Clifford, let's go to church. You have a really good series about the African dad and the children. And this culture, you do it so well, because that's really how our parents back in Africa, that's how they would bring us up. Like the uncle would come and give you some money, and then, your dad or your mom will say, let me keep that for you. and you never get to see that money again. So I noticed that you have the culture of growing up back home, yet on the other side you live in the States. Do you find like there's a bit of let me see, what's the word to use? Like a new identity where one is living in both worlds?
Yeah, it's a great question, because the next video I'm about to do touches on this. The thing about being Ghanaian or African is it's very universal. It's like our parents had the same manual on how to raise their kids, because even though I'm not in Ghana and I live in the U.S., it's like I live in Ghana, but just live in the U.S., because my parents govern and raise me the same way they will raise me if I was in Ghana. And a lot of people need to understand that African parents, even though, they're dramatic, they do all these things, it's all for a great cause. They just want the best for us, whether it's going to school, religion, they don't have time for all that nonsense because of all the stuff they did, to come here. They wanted the best for their kids. So when I do my videos, it's funny and all, but when you really watch it, I'm trying to teach, a little lesson at the end to show that, there's a reason why my dad is so serious about me coming home with straight A's. There's a reason for all of this stuff. So it's great. And, the thing with the money, I think that's universal too. Our parents want to save our money for us, but the thing is we just never get to see it again because they put it in a very, very safe place. It's too safe, they forget where they put it.
That's true. Oh, I see what you mean, that your parents, although they are living in the States, they still, and the word you used, govern, was interesting. They still bring you up like they did back home. One of the videos that really had me laughing the other day when I was doing some prep work for the show was, somebody called you and your dad said, no, you're not going anywhere. And then you try and sneak out. And that really just had me in tears because then he's waiting for you. And where are you going? And you have your shoes in your hand. It reminded me of my childhood. I think almost every grown person has had that scene. And I love the way you have such scenes that we can all identify with. How do you, one of my listeners actually wanted to know this question. I hope she'll be listening. Stella, here's your question. She wanted to know, how did you learn your dance moves and how do you come up with those funny skits?
With dancing, it's just a part of who I am. My parents are good dancers. They love to dance. I've never been to any school or classes to dance. I really don't know. When I was young, I used to really look up to Michael Jackson. When I was young, I used to do a lot of that type of dance. And when I started growing up, because I love the African music so much, I just started doing more African dances. It's all freestyle. Most of the stuff you watch in my videos, if I wanted to repeat it, I couldn't. Like, I know I try to do, the reason why Africans miss phone calls. I try to do it at a show. And I couldn't. I tried my hardest, but it's like, it's one of those, the moment, it's like of the moment, I do it and I record it and it's great. And with the skits, the reason why I think it has become so successful is because I'm not making up anything. It's like I'm recording things that I've been through, I'm making it more dramatic to be funny. Asking my dad, can I go out? He's telling me no, now I'm sneaking out. And the thing about African parents is they know exactly what you're going to do just by looking at you. That's why my dad was outside knowing that I'm going to try to sneak out. They know us. They know how we are. So, I'm just using my life, how I grew up, all of my experiences to make people know that, this African culture is a beautiful culture, even though we went through all this stuff. But because of what I've been through growing up has made me the man I am today, the success, the way I respect and receive people is all because of the way my parents raised me. So it's great. Just something as simple as I can give somebody something with my left hand. It's like such a strong thing that people don't really realize the respect behind, I can't give you something with my left hand because my parents taught me that you always use your right hand. It's beautiful. So it's just my life. So Stella, thank you for your question. Your name is beautiful. I know you're beautiful. If you're not married, I'm not married. Call me. We'll talk. Nancy, don't worry. We'll set it up. It's okay, Stella. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you for answering that question. She is married, by the way, but well.
Okay, it's okay. Stella, it's all right. Maybe in another life.
Okay. Cliff, what's the biggest challenge that you have had to overcome in your business?
The hardest one, and I hope, a lot of people, either young listeners or people striving after their dream is listening to this is, when you're following your dreams, when you're going after goals, when you're going after something that is not norm, from the beginning, you're going to get a lot of people telling you or asking you, like, what are you doing? Don't you know what you're doing is stupid? And a lot of people listen to other people and they stop doing what they're doing to please other people. And now for the rest of your life, you're going to be unhappy because you stopped something that made you happy. So, one, make sure, okay, I'm saying this because I face this, that you believe in what you're doing. Because if you believe in what you're doing, nobody can tell you to, to stop. Two, have a lot of confidence. It's okay. Because without confidence, you can't do anything. So if somebody tells you can't, with the confidence, you can say, no, actually, I can. All right. I heard something, I forgot who said it, but he wanted to be a singer. And, every day he went out, everybody would say, oh, I want to be a nurse. I want to be an engineer. I want to be this. So they'll come up to him, and he's like, I want to be a singer. Then people will say, okay, we get that, but what's your plan B? And he's like, no, actually, I only have a plan A. I want to be a singer. So when you believe in yourself like that, you know, you speak things into existence, saying, I'm going to be this, it's going to happen. I believe that, you know, when you commit things to God, He will make you successful. So back to me, you know, the biggest challenge was just, you know, believing in myself. When people told me, Cliff, what you're doing is nonsense, is stupid, you're not going to go anywhere with this. But, you know, because I believed in what I was doing, I knew what I was doing was good. You know, I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. All I wanted to do was make people happy. So if I'm trying to make somebody happy and somebody's telling me to stop, you know, I can't stop, because if I stop, there's you know, there's that percentage of people who love it. And now I'm going to stop what I'm doing to please people who don't love it. So believe in yourself, yes.
Great answer. Thank you. And you're doing a good job. I mean, you have a very unique business concept. And most of all, we can see that you're having fun in that and that you can be able to also, you know, make some profit out of that. It's really beautiful. It's very encouraging. Question, Cliff, how did your parents react to that? Did they support that in the beginning, or were they like, well, we're not sure, but okay, son, go for it? How did they support you in following that dream?
You see, with me, the good thing is I'm the only child, right? It's good and it's bad, because my parents have never really told me, you know, stop. But when I was in school, right, they told me focus more in school. That was their thing. Like, we understand you have this passion for this, but please just go get your degree. When I was in school, you know, my parents would tell me, hey, stop doing that. Steady. Fine. But as soon as I finished university and I got my degree and I got my job, now my parents are my biggest supporters. Like, they watch all my videos. My dad honestly goes and he reads all the comments.
Wow.
Yes, he reads every comment. So when somebody saying something negative, you know, he'll come up to me and bring it up and say, you know, why is this person saying this? But I have to explain to him that there's some people in the world, no matter what you do, you can give them $1 million to charity and they'll come and, you know, complain about why you couldn't give $1,000,001. So there's nothing in this world that's gonna please everybody. But honestly, right now I'm telling my dad, I can even tell you a story. We were going car shopping, and you know I was looking at, you know, different cars, and you know the dealer was helping me out. So I sat in one of the cars to see how the interior is. I was in the car for maybe 30 seconds. As soon as I got out the car, all I hear is myself. I'm here, you know, one of my videos. I'm like, wait, what is going on? My dad was playing one of my videos to the dealer, like, oh yeah, this is what my son does. You know, he's very popular. And I'm just like, wow, you know, and when you have backing like that, there's nobody outside of my family right now that can tell me to stop, because I have the approval of my parents.
Amazing. They're your biggest supporters. They did a really good job. And your dad retired the other day.
Yes,
I stalked you a little bit. I had to do my research. So, and I follow you on Facebook. And they were dancing, your mom and your dad, and they look really young and beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's really good to have parents who support one. As you said, you can have the greatest gift or talent or have a passion, and if you're not getting the support at home and even outside in the world, people are like, you know, shooting that down. It can be a little bit tricky to push through. So I really would wish that more parents would support different kind of their children's talents, because sometimes they're like, well, dancing or singing, you know, go and be an engineer or go and be a doctor. You had a video actually about that where your uncle asked you, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
And you're looking at your dad first before you decide, you know, what you want to.
I want to be a doctor.
Yeah, that was really good one. I love your video.
Yeah, and I want, before, you know, you go on, I want to say this too. Most of the younger people, if you have a passion for something else, right, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But make sure you're also going after, you know, your degrees. It's important. You need both. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why, especially African parents, they're so passionate about you going after, you know, your professional career as, you know, to them, something of substance, is because they just want you to have something to always fall back on. Okay, and it's important, you know, like, if you do research, you know, let's say you want to be a singer. There's a billion singers, maybe 10 might make it, and you might be the 10. But at the end of the day, you still want to have something that you can always say, you know, but I'm also this. Like with me, I'm an HR manager, you know, and it's beautiful because I can do my passion, and I also have my career as an HR manager.
Wow.
Would it be great if I take comedy full time and that's how, yes, we'd love to, but I love both of them. And I want to encourage you guys to, that's why, especially being African, you can't just go up to your dad and say, I want to be a dancer. And when you're 16, no, it's not happening. You'll get smacked. And now you're crying. Now we're all upset, but it's okay.
Oh, that's a good point you brought up. Something to fall back on. So if I understood correctly, you also work as a HR manager and then you have your entertainment?
Yes, it's a crazy, crazy life, but it's good. It's
great.
Good.
Do the people, when you're HR, when they watch your videos, do they expect you to also be just like fun and make them laugh, or is there the other side where you put on your serious face?
I do put on my serious face at work, but at the end of the day, my personality is really, really like colorful, And I think because of that, it helps me with my profession because I focus more on the benefits of the company. So that's an area where, you don't have to be as strict. You don't have to be the dean or the principal of the company. I'm more fun, so I can have a little more fun with the staff. So it's good. It's helped me out a lot. Just being positive in life has brought me a long way. People, I'm telling you, having a positive aspect, just going through life, just being happy, you're going to have a better life. Because I tell people, life is like a mirror. Whatever you show it, is what it shows you back. So it's up to you.
Have you ever had to fire somebody or tell somebody, like give them a warning?
See, that's a good thing. I'm not in that field. That's not my side. I do sometimes sit in on those type of meetings, but it's not me. It's hard for me to really look at somebody and say, hey, you're fired. It'll kill me. I want to say, hey, let's dance. That's what I want.
All right. Tell us, what is your favorite business building strategy and why?
Building strategy. Let's see, man. In my field, especially, is one, hard, like work ethic, right? Let's talk about work ethics because I preach this a lot. So let's say you're starting a business. You have, your business plan, everything you want to have or do with this business, right? It can't really move forward without work ethics. The mistake a lot of people do is they sit down, especially now with social media, they go on social media, they see a lot of people's success, and then they envy the success. They become jealous of other people's success. But I tell people, instead of being envious of their end, like all their let's say cars and money, be envious of how hard that person worked to get to where they got.
That's good.
So, I mean, like myself, I watch people and I say, wow, look how far they've come. Me, I do more research on how did they get to where they got. Instead of Googling how much money, Bill Gates has, the money part is cool, but how did he get to the money? So work ethics to me is very, very hard. You have to be ready, go beyond anything that you have ever understood. Because me, sometimes, after work, I'll come home, I'll shoot the video after work and then edit the video. So maybe 3, 4 in the morning, that's when I go to sleep and then wake up at 6 to go back to work.
Wow.
So it's like all of this stuff, and it all pays off because now everything is picking up. Instead of me saying, I'm gonna waste Saturdays when I'm off, and then Saturdays come and you're like, it's actually a day off. And then after that, starting to lose the passion. So work ethics is very, very important.
That's a really good point. And the fact that you say you come home and then you do the editing and go to bed at 4, most people don't see that bit. They just see like there's this analogy of success.
Yes.
Sorry? Go on.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people just see the end games. They don't see how hard you work from Monday to Friday, but on Saturday when you're partying, they get jealous.
That's a good point, work ethic. Thanks for sharing that with us. As we slowly come to wrapping up, I could have a chat. I'm learning so much, and you have a lot of wisdom that we can all implement and also pass on. So really appreciate what you're sharing with us here. What is one life-changing piece of advice that you've been given?
Man, life-changing. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is just more than just life in general. It has to do with work ethics too. Everything with me is work ethics. Let me tell you why work is very important because, growing up, all I've seen my parents do is work. Right? My dad, from the post I put up, worked two jobs for 30 years. So you can split him in half. He's had 2 people's careers. So if you
and he still looks so young. If I may interject that.
It's crazy. You know, he technically he worked 60 years, right? Wow. So all I know is work ethics, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. That's how I was raised. So life changing. So when I started working, you know, I will go in, I'll work very, very hard, hard, and you have the other people who don't work as hard. You know, and I used to get very upset. You know, and I'm like, man, why do I work so hard and these people are not working hard, but we're all moving at the same rate, right? So one day, you know, me and one of my bosses, my first boss, was talking, and I brought it up, and he said something that my dad had said to me a long time ago, but he said it more in the professional world. He was like, you know, Cliff, you have to understand that not everybody was raised like you, right? You know, some people, you know, were raised with, like, let's say a family where maybe they didn't see that work was very important. You know, maybe some people, you know, was raised in a family where they were rich, and now they just is like, you know, they're working just because, you know. So that changed my whole life, because the way I treat relationships, whether you know I'm in a relationship with a female, the way I treat my friendship, all has changed, because now I can look at somebody and say, you know what, there's a reason why you're selfish when it comes to this, you know, because now I realize that, you know, somebody's past experience alters how they are now. I mean, and that's the same way, because of that, now my comedy is different. So, like, before I used to get mad when somebody goes, you know, why do you call it African dad? My dad doesn't act like that, you know, but because in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you know, my dad, you know, so now I perceive people different. I can treat people different. I'm happier, because when somebody is greedy or envious or something, I don't get upset, because there's something that is making this person that way. So we all have to look at people and realize that we're all different. We're raised different communities, different families, different ethics, morals, and all that. So that changed my life. See, I'm happier because now I don't get mad.
That's a good answer. And it also, I guess, it makes us accept other people as they are, and just let it go. Okay. There was something, let me see, there was another question that I had. I wish I'd written that down, but now, oh well, it's escaped my mind. I like to do this kind of like, oh yeah, I remember now that you say that. When are you getting married?
Oh, I forgot to forget that. Oh,
yeah, man. You see, you said come on, and then it suddenly clicked, and I remembered.
Okay, let's see.
That's a trick question.
Okay, so you know, that's what everybody's waiting for. You know, I know my parents are just counting the days till when I'm gonna tie the knots. And you know, last time I made a joke with my mom, because I told her that, you know, now that my dad's retired, you know, I can't really get married till she retires, and she still has 6-7 years of work, so she kind of panicked. And you know, I will.
It was a trick question.
No, it's okay. No, it's actually good, because I want people to hear this, because I get this so much. I will get married, but I'm just gonna let it happen naturally. You know what I mean? I just feel that because of what I'm doing right now, honestly, I'm not in a stage where I would want to be married, because I travel so much, and you know, everybody says it's okay if you find the right woman, she'll understand. I'm like, no, she'll understand, but I wouldn't feel right leaving her every weekend. You know, does she want to come with me? That's cool. But you know, we'll see. God is in control.
Amen.
Maybe I'm like, you know, in the Bible, you gotta understand that you know, Paul never really got married, but he's the one that talks about marriage. So I might be the Paul of this generation.
Oh, all those beautiful ladies out there, you know, they're like, oh no, that was, you know, like a trick question really. So, but thanks for the way you've answered it. Wow, you got so much wisdom. And I'm just thinking now again, the African parents, how they're like, oh Cliff, I have one very nice lady that I would like to introduce you to. I mean, that's something that is back home also. Pretty, you know, it happens a lot, or it used to happen, where the parents are introducing one lady after the other to their children, like, okay, this one she'll be a good wife or a good husband. So I'm imagining that funny side as well of our culture.
Funny. I might turn that into a video.
Yeah.
That's actually very funny.
we can all identify with that as well. From back home, how our parents have, they like to have a say on who we marry, or they'll I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that to you.
They'll great one. It's like they'll bring them in and, listen, like for you, they're like, hey, look, we have this guy here. Very nice guy. He's a doctor.
Exactly.
He got money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Money. And then you'll be like, but Dad,
he'll take care of you. Yeah.
I don't love him. Oh, who cares about love when there's money?
The love will grow.
The love will grow. Me, when I met your mother, I didn't love her.
Oh.
I didn't love her. I married her to love her. And I'm still loving her to today.
Oh, you're really good. Exactly. That's how the script would go. And then you're thinking, okay, that was you, not me.
Exactly.
But, I'll look forward to that one. Maybe you will do one like that, and I'll just be cracking because I'll be able to identify. Okay, now we're coming to a close. Okay. Tell us, there's something that we normally do at the end of every show, at least in the interviews or even the ones when I do solo shows, and it's called an EAT tip. And what EAT stands for is inspiration plus some action results in some transformation. The goal of this show is really to inspire people and then for people to take some kind of action based on what they hear so that they can see some kind of transformation either in their lives or not in our lives. I include myself there. So we can see some transformation in our lives or in our businesses. So what are one or two action steps that listeners can take this week, so that we can see our lives or our businesses go to the next level?
One or two. Okay, so whether you're starting a business or you're already in a business, one, you got to live your life like you have already established that business. Let me tell you why that's important. Because when you live that way, you become more confident. You don't really think negative. Every day you wake up, think something positive. Say, you know what I'm doing, there's a reason why I'm doing it. There's a mission. If you stand behind your mission, it's good. So just live your life like you already made it, and it's going to help you out. Like I said, work ethics is very important. Don't be afraid to work. Don't be afraid when people say you're working too much. People who tell you you're working too much, they're not working. They're not working enough. That's why they can talk about your business. So, don't focus on people who don't have any goals or plans in life. Those people, because they have no vision, they're going to try to blur yours. Don't let that happen. I'm going to keep going. So 3 is very, very important. Make sure, and this is very, very important, that you have people around you who encourage and support what you're doing. The mistake that a lot of people do is they assume because you're my cousin, my brother, you're going to support me. No, that's not how it works. The people who are actually going to not support you the most are the people closest to you. Okay, those people will support you later on when the whole world is supporting you. They'll come around. So make sure that the people around you really do believe in what you're doing. Don't just put people there just to have people there. That's very important. And lastly, be happy in what you're doing. Make sure it's something that brings you joy. Don't just be doing something because it worked for Tom or Kim or or you watch my videos and because it makes you laugh. Even though you don't have the passion or really have the talent for it, you're gonna do it because you like the fact that everybody likes what I'm doing. Do something that makes you happy, and man, I can't stop. There's so much. Last one, I promise. Last one.
They're good.
This actually should be the first, but make sure I don't know what your religious goals are, but make sure that God is in your in what you're doing. The verse that I've been traveling with my whole life is Proverbs 16:3, which says, commit everything you do. It actually says commit whatever you do to God and he will establish it. And it says whatever, okay?
Amen.
So just commit to God and he will establish you and believe in yourself. I believe in you. I don't even know who's listening right now, but I believe in you. And I know that's what you've been wanting to hear. You just want to hear somebody say that they believe in you. And I'm telling you, Clifford Owusu believes in you, okay? God bless and be blessed.
Amen. Thank you. Wow, that's really good. I love the one of committing you. I'm a Christian, and as you say, the Bible says if you acknowledge him and you seek him, he will direct your paths and surprise us. The best place listeners can connect with you.
The most important is just go on YouTube and type in Clifford Owusu and subscribe, show me support, show me love. It's time for the world to know how talented and skilled Africans are. Just know that everything I put out is always going to be positive. I'm never going to curse or do anything disrespectful to the culture, even though people think that what I'm doing might be a little bit too dramatic. But trust me, if you live in an African home, it's right on point. Okay.
Absolutely. And I know I said we're closing, but I've just remembered something else. When I first connected with you, I don't even think I was doing the show back then. I don't remember even why I inboxed you, but I was so fascinated and so inspired, and I really liked what you were doing. Now, I wonder what I was asking you. But I do recall saying, who knows, maybe one day I'll see you in Europe. I know you're having a show with Kansime, who is another hilarious entertainer. It would be great to have you in Europe or maybe even in Kenya. Who knows?
Maybe, somebody did contact me about possibly coming to Germany. I don't want to speak about it too much, but it could happen either next April or May. So, and, Kenya, and big shout out to Kenya. Okay, let me tell you why. Since that Africans don't answer their phone calls, video, Kenya and Kenyans have been showing me so much love and support. It's beyond me sometimes because, you understand, I'm West African, that's East Africa, so you would think that, it'd be more West African love, but, I've been featured on magazines, newspapers there. I was on an interview on the television show, which was a Skype interview. So it's like, it's amazing how much love they're showing me, and trust me, it's never going to be forgotten. I pray that God, continues to bless me. I will return every bit of love back to Kenya. So thank you guys, and still, because you're Kenyan and you're showing me love. It's amazing, and I love you guys. Thank you. Maybe I need to go to Kenya to find my wife. Maybe that's what it is. All of you.
Oh, there we go again. One last thing I'd like to remind the listeners. There's the new book. One of the reasons why I'm also interviewing you is you share your wisdom and your expertise and your some of your advice about following one's passion and making it into a profit. And that book is scheduled to come out on the 15th of October, and your listeners can have a free download. So one last thing I'd like to ask you about that particular book. What is one advice that you would give people who want to follow their passion? But what is one do or don't that you would advise people who might read the book and think, I want to turn my passion into a profit-generating venture?
All right, so number one, get the book, read the book, because it'll help you. That's important, okay? Because the book is going to be very powerful. Do's, I spoke a lot about the do's. So let's talk about the don'ts. So the don'ts is more, like a lot of people are so money hungry that it clouds passion after a while. So let's say you have a passion for, I always use dancing because I love to dance. You love dancing, and now let's say you start making some money from dancing. That shouldn't take away from your creativity. You shouldn't say, now that I'm making money, I can stop being creative because I can keep doing the same thing I've been doing to keep making money. All right. Money is important, but make sure the passion is strong, because with the passion and, creating things every time, it generate more money. Like me, when I did the cell phone thing, I could have kept doing videos that had to do with the same concept. But after a while, the people say, okay, enough, we're bored. The smartest thing I did was say, you know what, now that I got, people finally watching, what can I do? So I started the whole African Dad thing, which is good because with that, I can change it every week. It doesn't be the same dance moves all the time. So don't let money cloud creativity and passion. It's very important. Just go after.
Brilliant. Oh, wow. Cliff, thank you so very much for coming on the call.
No, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And listeners, please do go to the YouTube channel. I promise you, your ribs are going to hurt. Cliff not only entertains us, but also educates us in the videos. So whether you're an African or not, I know there are a lot of listeners also in Germany, in America, who may not be from the African background, African culture, but watching your videos, it's a way of also intercultural teachings, because people can understand sometimes why we Africans behave the way we do in our background. So I really think you're doing a great job, Bill.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Great. And you have like the best voice. Your voice is so amazing. Maybe that's why you have all these listeners. I'm telling you, sometimes I bet they're not even listening to what we're saying. They just want to hear your voice.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you for your kind words.
All right.
Well, that comes to the end of our interview.
Yes. Your love and support means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. For more inspiration and the resources mentioned on this show, visit www.lbsuccess.com today.